What's up, mamas? I'm Rebecca. You're watching the Reseller Mom Show. Thank you for joining me today for Reseller Mom content to get more done, make more money, and stay sane while raising kids and reselling online. I have what I think is a pretty awesome video for you. I'm really hoping I can explain it well, but I think the idea is fantastic, and I hope that this is something that will encourage you to try something similar or look into it further, and that is having a custom spreadsheet developed for you and for your business. So I love numbers, I love statistics, I love all of the information that knowing the numbers of your business can help you help you make good decisions. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm losing track. But basically, I love having all sorts of statistics and all sorts of information to help me make good buying decisions, to help me get items moving through my store faster. That's what I've been really working on. If you've watched any of my What Sold Fast videos, I'm always trying to get things to move faster, get my money turned around, get my profit turned around. And this spreadsheet that I have at this point that I'm going to share with you is really what is making it happen. And so what I did a while ago, in the very beginning, I used Bottomline, an app called Bottomline, which I thought was fantastic at the time to track all of my sales and my numbers and my sales and all of like the financials basically. And that was wonderful. But as I grew, and also as the time that I started to file taxes, because in the beginning this was just a hobby business, and once I decided it was real, I started getting my taxes together and everything. So basically I needed more information. I needed to track things differently, and once I started down that path, I'm like, I want to also track this and I want to also track that, and there were just so many things that I wanted to track. So I put all my thoughts together. I went on Upwork, which is where I get all of my virtual assistants. I love Upwork. Wish I could be sponsored by Upwork. They're fantastic. I've hired so many people to do so many things for me. It's just really a wonderful platform. Upwork.com. Basically, you can go on there and hire anybody to do anything almost. But I went on and I said, I need a custom spreadsheet. These are the kinds of things I'm looking to have help with. And I found a person. She applied. It was her first day on the platform. She was US based. We talked and we were just like, okay, this is fantastic. This is a great match. She was a mom looking to make some extra money. She was already in accounting and doing spreadsheets and numbers for her day job and just wanted to make some extra money to pay for her kids' activities. And so I explained to her in like normal terms, this is what I want. And then she did the magic. And so now I have a multiple tab Google Sheet that I can use, that my virtual assistant can use. And honestly, she uses it sometimes more than I do. But you can use this just for yourself. So I'm going to go over it with you, and then we can talk in the end about how you might be able to get something like this for yourself. So first, what I want to do is show you my inventory sheet. So everything that I bring into the business, once it's getting listed, it goes on the inventory sheet. So if it's not listed, it's not on here. So your death pile, like I don't have all those kinds of things on here. And once it's in a listed state, we're going to fill out some fields here basically. So the item number, the source is the second column. So whether it's something that I listed, we have a lot of different things, but mostly it's supposed to track like the folder where the photos are. That way, if there's an issue, I can always go back and reference it. So when my photographer does photos, she puts it in a folder with a date. When I do photos, it goes in a folder with a date. And so that's what would go here. These are, not all these have dates because some of them came in other ways. The pub, so that's the publication date. So that's the day it's been listed. So some of these here are from March. If you scroll up or down, the dates change. It's sorted according to item number, and so that's why some things are in order and some things aren't as far as the date goes. The next column is ATD. I don't even know what that means. My virtual assistant is amazing, but sometimes she takes initiative and like names things stuff that makes sense to her, but they don't make sense to me. And honestly, I don't really care that much. I know what the column is for, and if it makes her feel better to name it whatever ATD means, that's fine with me. I don't micromanage in that way. So I don't know what that means, but this column tells you how many days it's been listed. So this one right here, this row It was listed on March 24th of 2019, and it's been listed 169 days as of today. So you'll see a lot of formulas, a lot of functions in here, and I don't know the difference between a formula or a function, but I always know what I want my spreadsheet to do, and that's where the magic of having this person, Nicole, that helped me with it, is just wonderful, and we'll talk more about that. Anyway, so then we have a link to the listing. And so this is the Poshmark listing, this is the eBay listing, and this is the Mercari listing. Those are my 3 platforms. Everything should be in Poshmark and eBay. Not everything has been cross-posted to Mercari yet. Maybe someday it will. Everything going forward now is, but things from the past, not everything was. So if you click on this link, if I just do open, like the listing will pop up. So it's really nice to be able to access the listings from there and check and see. When I do my What Sold Fast videos, that's how I open all of my links, because I go through the inventory sheet and see what's sold in that week, and I'm able to pull it out. So those are the links. This stat column is, again, a virtual assistant thing. She groups things and does something with something, and I don't know what it's for, and I don't really care. End is when the item is ended, meaning when it's sold. So this item is still in inventory. It has not sold yet, so there's no date here. This one, they have formulas, so that's why it's saying an error, because there's no value in there right now. Next, age is, I wish that would go away. Age is how many days it took to sell. So it will subtract the date it sold from the date it was listed, and there will be a number here that shows how many days it took to sell. And I just don't want to scroll down right now because I want to show you here and stay in the same spot, and then maybe I'll show you after the other thing. This PD and this RL, these are for price drop and relist. And so when we do those activities, like this has already been relisted, but it has not been price dropped. And so there's like a little, teardrop for price drop. Again, my virtual assistant. So when that activity has been done, that's in there. So that way we know not to do it again. I have a whole video on my inventory management process, and that has, I think by the time you're watching this, has already happened. I recorded it, but I never know what order the videos are going up. That would require a lot more organization than I'm willing to give right now. So I explain how I handle and when I handle all of those triggers and all of those tasks to get things moving quickly through the store. So be on the lookout for that. Remarks is like a notes field. Again, I would call it notes. She calls it remarks, potato, whatever. Okay. Then over here are like magical columns that Nicole, the wonderful wizard lady of Excel and Google Sheets, set up for me when she created this for me. And so it's basically referencing certain things here so that it can spit out information somewhere else. And I'll show you what those things are, their functions, their formulas, or whatever. And I don't touch them, and I don't ask that many questions as long as it works. Let me see if I can hear. So when an item is sold, then wherever it's sold, that's the code that my virtual assistant puts in here. So she updates all of this. She updates the listings going in, adding them to the spreadsheet. She updates things when it's sold as well. So she basically runs all of this. And so this I can tell sold on eBay because she's saying it's sold B, which is this color, which matches this color, which means it was an eBay sale. And it's sold on July 13th. And it was listed on June 15th, so it took 28 days to sell. So that's how that part works. Okay, let's go on. The next tab is item issues, which we use sometimes better than others. I guess we don't need these. Basically, if there's an item that has issues, we put it here so that we can track back and forth how to solve it. So if she notices when she's going through a folder from the photographer of items and the form is missing with the item information, or the item number is missing, or she forgot to put the weight down, or we're missing a photo, or whatever, there's any number of issues that can happen when you have multiple people helping with your business. She adds it here, and then I can see it here, and then I can track down the item in the storage unit, and resolve the issue and get that information to her so she can properly list it. So this is like a communication back and forth between my virtual assistant and I. We have a lot of different reasons over here. No weight, unknown item, no form, missing picture, technical error, no price, whatever. So if you don't have a virtual assistant, you would not need something like this or whatever. Next up is expense detail. So let's see. I'm just going to go to more recent things. Okay, so So this is where we track all the expenses. So it's basically just a running expenses log. These things over here, columns, formulas, are bringing the information from here, calculating it away and spitting it out somewhere else. We'll show you that later, but basically I'm tracking date. I'm tracking, I don't know why. Oh, I guess I don't have my row frozen at the top. This column is for the number of items. So if it's an inventory purchase, the number of items purchased goes here. So in this particular one, I purchased 36 items at the Goodwill outlet for $31.08, and that's coded as inventory. So that's coded so that way we'll show you later when I do some roll-ups into some summaries, it's coded properly. And then this is just a notes area. So all of the information goes in here. Again, I used to track my expenses in an app called Bottom Line, and for a while that was fine. Now this is fantastic and amazing, and I'm so grateful that I had this made for me, because all I have to do is quick data entry here, and then everything is spit out the proper way, and I'll show you that in a second. I do have these drop downs, and basically it's just all of the different vendors that I use. I can always add a new one, and these are all the categories that it could be, and I can always add a new one, but for right now those are the categories that I use. Next up is other sales detail. So this, again, I don't have the thing. Okay, so these are, blue is like functions and formulas, but basically the date, what the source was of the sale. Was it an employee purchase? Was it me selling to a consignment store? Was it a Facebook sale? Was it a Mercari sale? And for the most part, or garage sale, when I have a garage sale. So for the most part, as far as sales go, it's selling back to a consignment store. It's an employee purchase. It's a garage sale. It's Mercari. If I ever get back selling on Kitizen, or if I ever add another platform, those would be tracked here. It's basically any other sale that I'm recording that's not Poshmark and that's not eBay. That's what that is. And so they all get tracked accordingly, and we're putting the selling price, if there's any shipping information, what the earnings are, how many items are being sold, and if it was a Florida sale, because I do pay taxes in Florida, and we'll go through that in a second. So the next spreadsheet my Florida tax sheet. And basically this is where all of my taxable sales go. So if it's sold in the state of Florida, whether it's a local purchase, I claim my garage sales, I claim my selling to a consignment, anything that's a sale, I claim it. I don't want any issues. I'm doing the right thing. Like, I don't want any problems. So everything I claim. And the total is here, where, the source is here, and then the amount of sale is here. And so, or the amount of tax, I'm sorry. And so at the end, this spreadsheet feeds into another spreadsheet that calculates all of my tax liabilities that I pay quarterly to the state of Florida. And I won't say anything on taxes. You need to have a CPA. I have a CPA. It's a tough nut to swallow, paying for a CPA, but it is helpful. I've gotten my taxes done now. I've had 2 consultations, and I've learned a lot about how to track, what to track, and that's the person you need to go to for that information. I'm showing you what I'm tracking, but this is not CPA advice. This is not legal advice. Alert, alert, disclaimer. I'm just saying, go find a CPA. Like, whatever disclaimers I need. I know so many resellers that have YouTube videos that don't talk about anything, and here I am showing you my spreadsheet, and I don't want anybody to mistake this for any kind of advice or whatever. Okay, so Yes, so that's what I use to track my Florida state tax liabilities. Then Poshmark. So I use the Poshmark sales report, and I say I really should say we, and I really should say my virtual assistant, because again, she does all of this. I don't do any of this. And I pay her a monthly fee for these admin financial activities that she does for me on a rolling basis, so that I don't have to do any of this. And let me tell you, it's worth it, because it's a lot to keep track of. And I'm happy that I can either focus on geo or focus on sourcing and other listing or other projects than deal with this stuff. So when I show you all of this, please know I'm not spending hours in this spreadsheet. I'm checking on things, I'm updating a few things, but mostly my virtual assistant is handling it all. So these blue columns over here, this again is my Poshmark spreadsheet. These are all formulas that will take the information from here, spit it back out somewhere else. We'll show you that soon. We're getting there. This information is just copied and pasted right from the sales report that you can get from Poshmark. So from Poshmark, you request your sales report, they email it to you, you log in, you get it, and she takes a pared down version of that and puts it in here. Because all of that information I don't need in here. So it's just listing date, order date, listing title, order price, and net earnings. And then the functions over here will calculate the fees. So that way I have that as far as an expense goes. And so she, on a daily basis, just copies and pastes the whole year-to-date sales report in here. That way every day as new sales are added to the sales report, they get included in here, which again spits out into other places in the spreadsheet. Where was I? Hold on. Manual inputs. Now this is where it gets good. And if you're a numbers person, maybe this is getting your blood going. I don't know, but it really gets mine going. So, oh, what happened? I don't know what just happened. Okay. Oh, I hope we're still recording. Oh, we are. Okay. Whew. Whoa. That, I tell you, that gets me so scared when I'm like, oh my God, did I not just record? What happened? Okay. So this is manual inputs. This is a spreadsheet where information from the sheets I already showed you gets dumped into, calculated so that it means something else. Totals, summaries, what have you. It's also an area where if there's something I have to manually go and find that's not already tracked somewhere else in this spreadsheet, I can dump it in. So, like for eBay, there's no way for eBay to stick it in here like how my Poshmark, we can pull the sales report and put it in here, and those are my Poshmark sales. eBay, it's crazy town. I don't know. Maybe there's a way to get a report. I don't know what's the way to get the report. So we go on the eBay website and we pull the number of sales and the total amount of sales, and that gets entered in here. If it's green, that means it's been entered and it's complete. If it's beige, that means it's yet to be entered or yet to be finalized. As you can see, I'm a little bit behind. Also, sometimes with returns and stuff with eBay, things don't exactly get finalized, or at least I see that they change. I hate eBay. As far as like numbers go, it drives me crazy. So this is the best way that I can do it. I have my Merch by Amazon numbers in there. I have my Etsy numbers in there for my print on demand side of the business. I have all of the fees. So again, most of these are getting rolled up from prior places, and some are getting entered manually. So these are shipping inputs. So like the Mercari shipping is being pulled from the other sales sheet. The eBay shipping, I'm looking up in my PayPal and seeing what I'm paying for shipping on eBay. For labor, these are all being pulled from the expenses detail. I pay a lot in labor every month. As you can see, the costs just go up, up, and up because I just can't do all of the work. Then here's really cool stuff. So these are for taxes purposes. So my mileage, I use MileIQ. I actually am going to do a separate video on MileIQ to track my miles. If you're not sure about that, I'll put a link below. There's a little, we must each get something if I refer you, so I'll put that link below, but I love MileIQ. That's how I track my miles. I'll do a separate video on that. My cell phone, my internet, or at least the business portion of it. So those are for taxes. Then here, this is a tolls tracker. I love it. So I go to the same places. I go to the Goodwill outlet. I go to the consignment store. I go to Once Upon a Child. I go to Goodwill, a different one, a retail store, whatever. So every time I have a purchase from that store, or for the consignment store, a sellback to that store, and it's recorded in expenses or sales, that gets tallied up here month by month, and then the total amount that I pay, because I checked my Easy Pass or whatever it's called, Sun Pass, that total amount gets applied, and so I have a fully automated, fully tracked, I don't have to do anything, total amount to claim on my taxes. And this right here, I can't even tell you how much time that saves, because the first time I had to do it, it took a long, long time to make. So this right here is like, I love it. So obviously this does not manually, there are manual tolls that I pay. Like when I went to go do the airport luggage thing, if you haven't seen that video, I went and I online bid on an auction from Airport Lost Luggage, and then won the auction, had to go collect it, and it was like a whole thing. So check out that video for that crazy day. So like I paid tolls for that. That's not an all the time thing. If it becomes an all the time thing, maybe I'll add it here and then it would automatically be tracked, but for right now it wasn't. And so either I could add those in manually, honestly, for the couple that they are, I'm not even really worried about it. I mean, yes, I want every taxable deduction that I can get, but for the $10 that it could possibly be, which I'm sure it's not, like, I just can't even wrap my brain around it. So then I have my COGS calculations here. So what I started with, what my average cost is, what I'm going to end with is obviously, we don't know yet because I haven't done my ending inventory. And then here are my, these are like the lists for the drop down of the other spreadsheet, so that you have to like make a named range. So you put all of your options in one area, and then when you want your drop down, you say use the drop down from the list over here, and that's what's being recalled. So that's manual inputs. Next is master sales, master expenses. So I am not going to go through all of that right now. I am pretty transparent on my numbers, but I would like to do an overall numbers at the end of the year, because I have a lot of thoughts and things that I would like to put out there that I'm going to save till the end of the year. And so that's that. But I have a master sales tab and a master expenses tab, which basically tallies up everything that is tracked in the other tabs. So all of those expenses from the expenses detail, they're all coded by a category. On the master sales, that category is represented with a month by month total, and then a quarter by quarter total, and then finally a yearly total. So all the expenses are there, all the sales are there. They're in two separate sheets, so I can look at them separately. And then I have some places where they come together that I will show. These two, actually, I should probably delete these because I don't really need these anymore. I have the other thing that helps me with the tax return, and then this is how it automatically gets all calculated for my Florida sales tax. And then all of these here are additional sheets. Again, I'm going to go through all of this at the end of the year because I want to add some more statistics that really go over everything. So I'm not prepared to go over that just yet. But basically, I have a dashboard and dashboard data. The dashboard data is like charts, and then the dashboard is like a visual representation. And I told her basically what I wanted was a thermometer. Like, I want to set my sales goal, and then as sales are tallied and tracked and calculated in the other sheets, I want them to go bloop, 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 like a little thermometer, like for a fundraiser or something. I don't know why I'm obsessed with this thermometer. Like, I just want to see my sales every day go bloop, 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 closer to my goal. Now, I will say, some days feels like it doesn't move at all. Other days I'm like, oh, look at that. So I want to save all of that to the end of the year because I feel like it will be more impactful at the end of the year as I'm making goals for next year, as I'm seeing, we're not even in Q4 yet. So I really just want to have more perspective when I share those numbers and when I review them for myself. So I look at them on a daily basis, but like I said, it's not something I want to share right now, but I did want to show you the nitty gritty of the spreadsheet and then, kind of in general go over that with you. So the dashboard is really cool. It's visual. It's not as pretty as it could be. What she told me was that Google Sheets, it's not Excel in every way. And so I don't have Excel. I don't pay for Excel. I used to love Excel, but I'm not going to pay for it. Google Sheets is fine. So I don't need it to be pretty and fancy. I just need the information. I need to be able to track certain things. It lets me know how many listings I have going up on average every month, every day. It lets me know what my average cost of goods is. It lets me know what my average sales day looks like, as far as on average, I sell 11 items a day. Throughout the course of the year, my average is 11. I list on average 12 items a day. So I'm pretty good as far as that goes. So I need to ramp up sales or ramp up production, meaning listings, so that I can also ramp up sales. But I think that's pretty good. Anyway, so there's all kinds of numbers that I will share at another time. But in general, I think that this spreadsheet is glorious. I paid a couple $100s for this spreadsheet. I'm not going to lie. I did. I probably paid somewhere between $200 and $300 for it. I feel it was well worth it. And here's why. I wanted to do this for a long time, and I thought that I could do it myself. So I signed my happy butt up for classes at the library when my mom snowbirded here. So she would watch Geo, and I would go to classes at the library to learn Excel, to learn how to do all this crap. And I went to a class, and I like classes, and I would love to continue to take those classes just for my own learning. But by the time I figured out what I learned, which was all, I understood it all, it made complete sense, but then how to take that and apply it to what I was trying to do here and then replicate that and then continue to do it and build out this whole thing would have taken me months and months and months. I'm not even kidding, because I tried. And it's not that I couldn't do it. And it was really hard for me to bite the bullet and be like, I'm not going to do this. This is it was hard for me because I was like, I'm going to do it. I can, I was going to power through it. This is a waste of time. Do you know how many items I could source in this time? Do you know how many items I could list in this time? I could do so much more better things for my business than farting around with something that's not in my, what some people say, genius zone from the other YouTubers that I watch. And so I hired this chick, and she's a master wizard of life. And so she just banged this thing out. It took us a couple of weeks, mostly because this isn't her day job. She has a day job. She has kids. I have a kid. We could only get on the phone and be at the computer and be at the phone, kid-free, certain times to go over things. But she was amazing. And I asked her, I said, listen, I'm going to go over this with my YouTube peeps. And if you want people, clients, I could send them your way. So she was open to it. I don't know how many of you would be interested in something like this. I don't know what your needs are. I don't know what she would quote you. I don't know any of that. So I'm telling you, I paid a couple $100s for this. It's extremely involved, and you may or may not need that. You may want more crazy stuff. You may want way less crazy stuff. You may not need this at all. I'm just saying, if you are interested in Nicole and having her create something for you, send me a DM on Instagram, and then I can ask her if she's ready, willing, and able to accept any other clients, and then I can put you two together. I didn't want to put just her information out in case there were tons of people that were interested but maybe weren't going to follow through or what. I just wanted to protect her a little bit, and in case she doesn't want to do it anymore for some reason or what have you. So if you're interested, at the time that she finished this for me, which was a couple months ago, she said she was open to it. So DM me if you're interested, and I can always try to put you guys in touch if she's still down for it. If not, and you want to do this all yourself, figure out a way. You may not need all of this, but I think having an inventory sheet is helpful. In the beginning, I did not have one because I'm like, I don't want to spend the time listing all this stuff on an inventory sheet when I could be listing items. But now that I have a virtual assistant to do it, now that I sell on three platforms, it is very helpful to track the information and to give me info back. Also, because I do my What Sold Fast videos, I need to find this information. So I go to this spreadsheet, I sort by date sold, I sort by age column, which is how fast it sold, and that's how I get the information to share with you in my What Sold Fast videos. And if I didn't have this tracked, I would not be able to do that. So for me, it's serving several purposes for my reselling business, for my YouTube, and I just really like it and can't say enough about it. So, I mean, it's definitely trial and error in figuring out what do you need, how can you track it, can you have someone help you with it. It is a labor of love in terms of actually creating it, and the information you put in here, or I should say the information you get out of here, is only as good as the information you put in here. So if my virtual assistant was not doing this for me, there would be days where I wouldn't put in any listings, and then the information wouldn't be correct, and it would be all my fault, and the whole thing would go haywire. So it's imperative that you don't start something like this and waste a lot of time and effort and energy, or possibly even money, on starting a custom spreadsheet for yourself if you're not going to take the time to keep it up, or if you don't value keeping it up. So that would be my word to the wise, or word of caution there, is that you just need to commit to the value of having this kind of information about your business and what it can do for you. There's still one piece of all of this that is yet to be tracked, which is difficult sometimes when I do my videos because I don't track the source of the item. I track source, but that's not the source of where I bought the item. It's the source of where she's getting the item information, like a folder of photos. And so I couldn't tell you if this James Purse cowl sweater came from the bins, came from a clearance sale, came from a garage sale, when I bought it, or anything. It was listed on June 19th, but I could have bought it in May. I could have bought it at any one of these, places I just mentioned. So there's no way to kind of track that right now, because when I give stuff to my photographer, she's sorting it in her own way. When I'm putting it in bins to give her, I'm not sorting it in any particular way. I'm trying to just get it to her as quickly as possible and not wasting my time. So that's the only thing that I haven't really tackled yet. Maybe in 2020, we'll see. But for now, this is what I have. I think it's fantastic. It's working like a well-oiled machine right now. It was a little bumpy during the process of this being made, but working with a professional person that knows all of how this all works in the numbers and the functions and the formulas made it way more efficient of a process than if I would still be tinkering it with, tinkering with it myself. So that's that. I hope that you found this helpful. I would really love your comments below. Tell me if you think there's something else I should be tracking. Tell me if you think I'm a complete lunatic for tracking all of this to begin with. Like, what do you think about it? Are you interested in having something like this yourself? And also, if I could figure out a way to make this somewhat into a template, would you be interested in that? And that's something that I am interested in kind of sharing some of the resources that I have, that I've spent time and money in creating, and sharing them with you, for a fee. I give you a lot of free information. I'm happy to do it. I've showed you it all here. You can make it all yourself or hire someone else yourself. But if I can make it into a template, let me know if you're interested in something like that and what particular aspects of this are most helpful to you, because it is something I'm interested in trying to create. I don't want to go down that road without, any guidance whatsoever, and make sure that it's, viable. So that's all I have for you today. This is a long one, sorry, but this is so cool to me. I hope it's cool to you. So hopefully. Only the nerds have stuck around this long, right? Only us number nerds. Anyway, thanks so much. Please like this video on the way out. Leave me a comment with your thoughts and subscribe if you haven't already for more Reseller Mom content to get more done, make more money, and stay sane while raising kids and reselling online. Thanks so much. Bye.